My guest today is Jessica Gorman, a real estate agent at NOLA Living Realty. We talk about how she balances being a single mom, her marketing expertise, and her tips for first-time home buyers in today's market. Jessica also reveals her insights on current real estate trends, on how social media has become a game changer in her business. Here's my conversation with Jessica Gorman.
Well, not his office, but he wants a room like this for the agents so they can go kind of do their own thing. But I'm glad he came in here so that he realizes it's not just
Agreeing.
simple.
Yeah.
Because he told me, he's like, yeah, go make a media room. I was like, Eric, let's go consult with somebody who knows what they're doing, because we don't want to like throw it together and look like crazy people.
Yeah, I mean, this last time I was here, it was maybe a year ago. And the changes from a year ago till now is tremendous. I mean, they added more equipment and different things.
Yeah.
You know, so
This is awesome.
yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Jessica Gorman, your title is real estate agent.
That's correct.
That's awesome. And you work with Eric Hernandez at NOLA Living Realty.
NOLA Living Realty.
You know, a lot of times when I first started doing business with Eric, I used to call it NOLA Realty. And he's like,
Oh, no.
yeah, exactly. He corrected
That's a
me. He's like,
no-no.
no, absolutely not. So I had to get adjusted to it. It's NOLA Living Realty. You know, it's not. So today he told me he just bought the other name, which is NOLA Realty. That way he has both names.
Did.
But it's NOLA Living Realty. So Erica Gorman, and you are the real estate agent at NOLA Living
NOLA Living Realty.
Realty. So how long you been there?
Oh, I have been there since, what was the year? I think the beginning of 2014 is when I started with Eric. That was before NOLA Living, actually.
Really?
And
it was
Yeah, I just started working for him. I'll start from the beginning. So I had gotten a divorce, had a 2-year-old, and lost my job.
wow.
Bummer, right? So I had gone on Craigslist and I found a small brokerage in New Orleans that was hiring. And I was in the marketing background. So I went in and did my interview, and they were kind of like, well, do you have any real estate experience? And I'm like, well, I bought a house. And they were like, that's perfect. We'll take you.
There you go.
So I think I was there under a year before Eric found me, recruited me to do his marketing, because he had this idea of forming a team, which he did. And not long after that, he's like, go get your license. And I was like, hell no. I'm not a salesperson, sir. But come to find out, this is not a salesperson job. This is a service job.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of good at it.
That's awesome.
But once I was on his team, he had the idea to form this brokerage, and he kind of gave me full reign to have the creative side and do the branding and the logo and have the vision for him. And so we worked together closely. And so now here we are, almost, I want to say, close to 175 agents
Wow.
now.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you're the first person that started working with Eric.
He had his sister at the time and
Zuhaili.
one other person. Yeah. And then
So
we
you
got
are one of the very first
I'm
few
the
people.
OG. One of the
Wow,
OGs. Yeah.
that's awesome. I did not know that. I mean, I knew you've been with him for a long time, but I didn't know that long. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What attracted you to going with Eric? Obviously, he was so small. He was the agent. I don't think Zuhaili was an agent, because Zuhaili just became an agent recently, or I'm wrong.
No, she was an agent actually when I started working for Eric.
Okay.
She was his right-hand woman.
Right.
And, yeah.
Gotcha.
But Eric, I mean, talk to Eric for 5 minutes and you realize he knows everything.
He sure
And
does.
he's a problem solver, and he has a wealth of knowledge. And every agent that comes on board NOLA Living sees that immediately.
So you think Eric has always had this knowledge, or he gained it as the years went by?
I'll tell you what, by the time I started working with him, he had the knowledge, because
That's
he's very
awesome.
smart and he retains everything. But I think where he's grown is he has become an incredible leader. He's kind of learned. And I think part of that is the brokerage, and then part of that is having Poppy, his
Absolutely.
son.
Absolutely.
So I think those things combined made him a wonderful leader. And
That's awesome.
all these agents really look up to him.
So when you first met him, him having all this knowledge, what really attracted you to work with him? That's awesome. That's awesome. And here you are. You said 2016?
That was 2014.
2014.
I believe is when I started working.
So
for
10
him.
years later. 10 years later. That's
I know.
awesome.
Crazy,
That's
right?
awesome. As far as sales, what do you do in sales every year?
So I wish I was. I'm not a numbers person.
Okay.
I could probably give you a ballpark of what I made this year. I don't know, and I don't keep up with it.
It's all
but
good.
I can tell you that I've helped 23 people buy or sell a house or achieve a
Awesome.
real estate goal. I really am more on the service side. I mean, I like to make money like the
Definitely.
rest of them, but my focus really when I'm doing this job is service.
Absolutely.
So I'd have to search up my
You know, a
stats.
lot of people don't know that, but you know, I call them the Instagram agent. You know, everybody who wants to be an agent, especially really COVID, what pushed a lot of the people to become agents, right? So the market got flooded with a bunch of agents during COVID that didn't know what they're doing. All they saw on Instagram, an agent doing a lot of money, and they decided to go to the real estate business. But yes, you gotta have the personality, you gotta have that service, you gotta be willing to help people when people need it, because a lot of agents that I've dealt with before, Eric, where they show you the house and they walk away. You like it, you figure out on your own after that. Where with you guys, it's a whole different ball game. You know, the showing is great. After the showing, put in the offer, the inspection, the lender. I mean, you guys do an amazing job with moving along the deal to close the deal. You know, do you have a graphic design degree?
I have a bachelor's degree in visual arts with an
Okay.
emphasis in graphic design.
So I've always wondered, because
Yeah.
I know you do all the graphic for Eric for NOLA Realty. I'm sorry, NOLA Living Realty. I got.
Gotta slap you on the
I
wrist
know.
every
I
time you
gotta
say
fix
it.
it. NOLA Living Realty. You know, you do all the graphic designs, and you've been doing that from day one.
From day one.
That's
Fresh out
awesome.
of college. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you do the logo. You do the flyers. What else? What
Well-
else you be creative with?
When we had a smaller amount of agents, I was doing a lot of it, you know, for them. As we grow and as we have all these people now, I'm more so like I'll make templates on Canva and provide that for them so they can go in and create their own open house flyers or postcards or whatever it may be. And then I offer guidance. I do a class, which I'm not a great teacher.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on that because I do a lot of the stuff in my head. It's done.
There you go.
But I do offer a marketing class that they can come sit in, and we kind of just go over the do's and don'ts, you know, how to reach your target audience and that kind of a thing.
Absolutely. As far as earlier, I said I was mentioning about the Instagram and social media agents. You are huge into social media, and I see all of your videos, and you do an amazing job. What do you think? What do you think make you special, or what do you think is your? How do you use social media to your advantage? Let's start there.
So, honestly, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, you know, when I was really starting to market, I was so concerned about, oh my gosh, what if I flood these people's Facebook page with too much real estate? What if I'm annoying, you know? And I really held back. And then it was like a few years ago, I said, you know what? If they don't like me, they're not going to work with me anyway. So let me just give it to
Do it.
them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what I do. And I use the different platforms for different things. I mean, TikTok, that's where you can be your unapologetic self. You can be silly, you can be serious, whatever you're feeling. Facebook is the platform for conversation. That's where I'm going to post pictures of houses or video, and I'm going to expect comments that I can, you know, talk back to.
Absolutely.
And that kind of a thing.
Like people asking you questions about that property.
Absolutely. Lots of shares, lots of this, but that's definitely for conversation. And Instagram is more the aesthetic. It's where you post the beautiful houses, the more artistic kind of a stuff, because Instagram knows if you're posting ugly pictures, and not like an ugly house, but not high quality photos, they will drop you in that algorithm in a second.
Interesting.
They want it to look nice. So you have to know, where you're posting, but
Well, good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a good insight.
Yeah.
That's a good insight for sure.
yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, real quick. In this episode, I will be giving away a $100 gift card to the first 3 people who send me a DM on my Instagram at Rami84Bader with the timestamp of this promotion. Let's get back to the show. How the market has been for you recently with the interest rate being high, and in our area, the insurance is extremely high. How's the market been for you?
It has been okay, actually. I really haven't slowed down too much. Obviously, interest rates, we have no control over.
True.
We just have to wait. But one thing about the interest rates is, that when the rates are high, there's less buyers. When there's less buyers, there's more inventory. And that's when you can technically get a good deal on a house,
A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people, they keep saying they're waiting for the market to crash. What's up with that?
Well, when the rates go down, that's when the buyers are going to come out.
Exactly.
And that's when you have your competition. And like a few years ago, when I was writing offers for 10, 20 over asking price just to secure a home.
Absolutely.
That's the risk.
That was a crazy time. That really was a crazy time. I mean, you put an offer, next thing, the agent call you, somebody overbid. We're not in a bidding war. I just put you ask for 300,000, I gave you 3. You asked for 400, I gave you 400. Now, no, somebody else offered a little bit more.
Yeah. It was wild.
It really was.
I remember when COVID first started. I mean, they had just put us on lockdown, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to get another job. What am I going to do? And it's like all of a sudden, real estate blew up, and I couldn't. I was so busy. That was my best year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What did you do before real estate? How did you end up in real estate?
Well, okay, I started off when I was in college. I was about to graduate. We had an art show, and since my emphasis was graphic design, I had all my design pieces up. And the editor of a new magazine happened to go and was like, I think we want her.
There you go.
So my first job out of college was an art director for a magazine. I thought I was too cool for school. And it was awesome. I had full, the layout, the photos, everything I was in control of. And
That's
so I was
awesome.
there for a little while. That was in Hammond, where I went to school at Southeastern. So I wanted to come home. I got a job at Stewart Enterprises, which was like the corporate office for funeral homes and cemeteries around the nation. But I'm kind of into that stuff. So I was like, cool, let's go. So I worked there for a while. Then I went over to Delgado. I was in their marketing department. And it was a nice little government job. Couldn't complain. But then that's where they had a big hiring crisis. A bunch of people got let go. And that's where my life changed and fell into real estate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you watched the movie The Wolf of Wall Street?
Absolutely.
The beginning of your
know,
it reminded me of that story. That's interesting.
Yeah.
When he couldn't find a job and he went on that penny stock market.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful daughter. How old is she?
She will be 14 in January.
14 years old.
Yes.
She keep you busy, I'm assuming.
So busy. So busy.
How do you balance your work life with your, you have to balance between personal and business. How do you balance that life?
My people in my life know that if somebody calls me to see a house, I'm going.
You're going to go?
Or I'm finding somebody, and that's the great thing about NOLA Living. If I'm out of town,
NOLA
Living Realty.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble.
Yes. But that's the great thing about our brokerage, because if I am out of town, if I can't get there, we have a Facebook group. I'll go. Who can go show this house for me?
Awesome.
And everybody's like, I'll help you.
Nice.
It's wonderful. But if I'm here, Leah could probably sell a house at this point. She is so schooled in real estate. She shoots some of my videos. She, so she comes with me a lot.
That's awesome.
Sometimes I think, when she was younger, she was so cute. Sometimes I think that's how I scored listings. And my cute kid.
Yeah. Well, I see you bring your dog with you too. What's your dog's name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie, that big old thing.
I see you bring Charlie everywhere too.
I do. I used to more. I used to put him in a lot of my marketing just because people love him. And
Yeah.
people still, I mean, they call him by name. He's a 130-pound golden doodle. Big old hunk of love. But he got tired of it.
Really?
Yeah, so he had to retire. He really did. He would like pout. And the last picture I have of him by one of my real estate signs, he is completely turned around, like butt to me, would not look at me.
He
was
just
like,
had
I'm over
enough.
it.
He
Done.
had enough. Do you still take him with you to showings or no?
I do, depending on who the client is. Sometimes people request them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. How's the market for you now? I know we discussed the interest rate, but how is it overall? Where do you see the market going? In the next year, especially we're in election year, right? So everybody's freaking out about the election year.
Oh yeah.
How do you see the market? How do you foresee the market within the next 6 months?
Well, I think that buyers are waiting for this election to happen, see what happens with rates.
So do you really believe that the election affects rates? You've seen it happen before.
No.
But,
I'll be honest.
But
from everyone that I talk to, everything that I read, yes, I do think that will happen.
Gotcha.
It has to move.
It has
to come down
It
a
has
little.
definitely. It has to move, but I mean, it can go either way. So I don't see why buyers wait for the election to be over with.
We were so spoiled a few years ago with the
True, with the 3%.
3.5.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, I hear people like, oh, we're waiting till after the election, or we're waiting for the market to crash or whatever. But man, just buy now and refinance. Like,
I know.
I just don't get it.
I think it's scary for some people. I mean, affordability has changed so much. Like we said, inflation. I mean, inflation on everything.
Absolutely.
And it's scary for people. And you don't want to live, house broke or paycheck to paycheck. And people's budgets have changed. People that were looking at homes that were maybe $400,000 now qualify for something that's $300,000. I don't know. It's just different. So I get the fear, but the key to that is talking to a professional, talking it through, and that's what I always tell my buyers who are nervous. Let's just have a conversation. Let me put you in touch with people who can guide you. Because a lot of my lenders, I have some wonderful lenders that I work with. They want to talk to those people. You're not ready in 6 months. You're not ready in a year. Let me put you on the right track. And I think they just need that confidence to know that they can do it.
That's awesome.
If I can do it, I did it as a single mama, small kid, didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I did it.
Yeah, I guess you just got to take that first step.
You do.
A lot of people, like you said, are nervous to take that first step, but you just got to do it. What advice do you give in perfect timing, not during this time, but in a good time? Let's say in a good time. What advice do you give a first-time home buyer?
First-time home buyer. Well, definitely that. Talking with a lender, getting pre-approved, figuring out your situation, but just making sure that not only you're financially ready, but like emotionally. It's an emotional process.
Sure.
But I think no matter what your goal is, reach out to a professional and let them guide you, because we're the ones doing it every day.
Absolutely.
So I think that's my biggest thing.
And this one thing that I can really vouch for that you guys do at NOLA Living
Realty.
that you guys really are great help. I asked Eric earlier, do you know why I call you Easy E? He said, why? I said, I call you Easy E because you make everything easy. From the showing all the way till closing, you guys walk with the buyer and the seller, because you guys have sold and bought for me. So for both sides, you guys do a great job. You walk step by step from the showing to the inspection, to the lender, to the closing. I mean, you guys own the title company also. So that's amazing. Congratulations on the success. If you were not doing real estate, what would you be doing?
Forensic scientist.
Really?
Sign me up. Yes, absolutely.
So you've been working with NOPD or Jefferson Parish?
I don't even know. Somewhere good. Somewhere that's got
It has to be NOPD.
Yeah, NOPD for sure.
NOPD. That's awesome. So you like all this crazy scene, huh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Crime documentaries, all that. It's such a girl thing. Guys don't listen to that and watch that, do they?
No, yeah, man. I go to the house and my wife watches. Like, come sit, watch with them. I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Oh, we love it.
You know, my life is tough as is. I don't want to come here and just watch somebody getting killed and murdered, and I don't care about that. You know. But that's interesting. From real estate, so we.
From real estate to murderino.
I'm about to say we gotta cut this one out. Don't show it, but don't let Jessica show your house. She will kill you. Yeah, that's awesome. So Jess, you started in the real estate business. You're doing amazing for yourself. You're doing amazing for your family. What do you see the next step would be for Jessica?
You know, I think I'll always
look,
do.
I hate when somebody asks me this. What's your 3-year goal? I'm not
I
asking
know.
this. Like, just your next step. What's your next step?
Next step.
Is it buying another real estate as an investment? Is it?
Okay. I definitely want to flip a house. In fact, right before Ida hit, Missy, Mahia, and I had a house under contract. We were so excited. Our first flip. We had our LLC. And then, boom, here comes Ida. Messed up the house. The deal fell apart. And then after that, we just haven't had the opportunity again to do something like that. So in the next 3 years, I would love to flip a house. My goal ahead of that is to obviously, I want to keep buying properties. The house I'm in now is my third house, and I want to eventually make that one a rental, move on and buy my next one, and just keep that process going.
That's
Eventually,
awesome.
when Leah's ready to move out on her own, she'll have one of those houses. I want to set her up for success.
That's awesome.
But I think the best savings account you can have is
Oh,
real
absolutely.
estate. So that's where I'm headed.
That's awesome. Are you a big fan of multifamily or single home? What's your favorite?
I've only ever had single home.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be opposed to multifamily.
Got it. Got it. As an agent, obviously see all kind of deals, right? You see a great deal and you see crazy deals, right? When you see a good deal and you have a buyer who you representing and they kind of wishy-washy about the deal, do you push them like, dude, this is a good deal, fucking buy it?
Never.
Can we say fucking? Or?
No, I'm not a pushy agent, but I am a factual.
No, like if the deal is so good.
Oh, I'll let them know.
Yeah.
This is a great deal.
Okay.
Take it or leave it, buddy. I might take it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I've had a couple of deals like this with Eric. He told me, if you don't buy it, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
And he ended up buying them, right? Because I
That
walked
didn't make you buy them?
Well, the thing is, I always go with my gut feeling.
Yeah.
All the time, I go with my gut feeling. And when my gut feeling tell me no, I usually say no, right? And twice, actually 3 times, Eric said, if you don't buy it, I'll buy it. And I said no, and sure enough, he bought them. This one, I know it was a good deal because for him to buy it. So that's my question to you is, when you do something as such a good deal,
Yeah.
do you usually tell your buyer, like, dude, buy it? Like, why would you pass on it? Or,
Yes.
Okay.
I'll definitely let them know you need to buy it.
Definitely. You know, because sometimes, I mean, and how about if it's a crazy deal? Like if they're looking at something that doesn't make sense, do you advise?
Oh, I'll definitely tell them that. I'm brutally
Absolutely.
honest, and I will tell them.
Definitely. You know, because some people are not honest because some people are trying to make the sale,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And it's...
Hell, I'm not doing that because I rely on those testimonials and
Absolutely.
those referrals. So
Absolutely.
I'm a good person too.
Sure.
But like, I'm never going to do anything to put my clients in that position where they're going to look back and think, oh, damn, did
Yeah.
she screw me over? Absolutely not.
You know, before dealing with Eric, and I've dealt with you a lot when Eric was not available. I've always dealt with you and Missy, you, Zuhaili. I dealt with Zuhaili a lot also. Who else did I deal with? Jessica, Zuhaili, Missy.
I think we were the main 3.
Yeah, I think that's the main 3 that
Yeah.
I've always dealt with. But prior to you guys, prior to the NOLA Living company altogether, I dealt with other people, but they were not. Obviously, I switched agents because I was not as comfortable with them as with you guys.
Yeah.
And that all takes me back to honesty, right? Not pushing like, look, it's a good deal, it's a bad deal. The other agents wanted to make a sale,
Yeah.
right? Where with you guys, it doesn't seem that you care about the sale. Obviously, you do care about the sale, but it's not because there's always a better deal, right?
Absolutely.
So why push the customer or your client to buy something that they're not comfortable with or it's not a good deal?
Right.
You know,
That's service. That's what we're
service.
selling. Service.
Absolutely. Service is key. Have you worked in the restaurant business to know about the service?
Rami,
You did?
You would die if you would have seen me as a waitress.
Dropping
The
trays?
drinks, I was dropping.
Dropping trays.
I think I lasted 6 months and I just quit for them. I was like, you're welcome. I'm out of here. So
Yes,
bad.
indeed. That's awesome. You know, the service industry, the restaurant business always teach you a lot when you go into service period, right? So I always say my kids will work in the restaurant business. Even, I mean, I'm in the restaurant business. Even if they don't want anything to do with the restaurant business, they still have to work in it to learn dealing with, because, I mean, you're dealing with so many different people, so many different personalities in the restaurant business. It's extremely important. Like in my company, on a good day, we deal with close to 100 employee, and we deal with at least 3,000 to 4,000 people customer-wise every single day. You know, so that's a lot of people that you deal with, a lot of different personalities that you have to adjust to. You know, but that's awesome. What would you do if Eric one day told you, "Hey, I want to sell you my company"?
God,
I don't think I don't think it's happening, right? I don't think
what
it
would I do?
But what would you do?
I would do my best. I would get Missy. Missy's my ride or die over there.
Yeah.
Her and I could do it. Don't tell her.
No.
No, we need him.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but honestly, he has trained us all so well, and there's so much talent in that group of people that just varies. And if we all came together, we could do it, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not as well as Eric, but we can hold it together.
But he trained y'all well to be able to.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He did.
Well, Jess, do you have anything that you like to share with your audience?
Gosh. What's a good thing to share? Let me think about this for a second.
Any advice or any inside trick that people usually don't know when it comes to, like, for example, if they go look at a house, what thing that you look? Oh, actually, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
So now we're trending, and I am personally not a big fan of it. But every house I go look at is white walls and gray floors. What's up with that? What's up with this trend?
Don't get me started. It's giving 2015. Honestly, the white walls don't bother me that much. They were very trendy for the past couple of years. Everybody wanted the all white. A lot of people still do because, again, you can come in and bring whatever color you want. Gray walls, if I walk into one of my listings, especially if it's a newly renovated property and the walls are gray, I'll tell them, I'm like, you should really paint these walls.
Different color.
Nobody's doing gray. It's all about the warm tones. And now people are doing, I mean, they're bringing in color, texture to the walls, wallpaper. Oh my God.
It's coming back, yeah,
I'm waiting
absolutely.
For the wallpaper. Color drenching, I'm hoping to see more of that soon, but I'm obsessed with it. It's when the walls, the ceiling, the molding, everything is the same color. So it'll be like a deep blue in an office with like this cool fixture, and it's cool. It's like sexy. I like it.
I just redid the half bathroom at my house.
Did you?
And all black.
Right here.
All
Right
black.
here. I love it.
All black. I mean, the toilet, the faucet. The only thing we did gold was the toilet paper holder and towel bar. But everything else is black. I blacked everything out. You know,
love that.
It came out really, really good.
Nice.
At first, I was a little bit scared. You know, and the floor, it had black tiles with a little bit of white marble in it.
Yeah.
So it looks amazing. At first, I was a little bit nervous. It's gonna be like too much like gothic type of stuff, but it looked amazing. It looks really good. Yeah,
sleek, huh?
It really sleek.
Ooh,
when I get to the
take
house,
pictures.
actually, I'll take pictures. I'll send it to you.
Please do.
Yeah, it
That's
looks really
awesome.
good. So people are over the gray and the white.
Yes. And those are my final words of advice.
Got
Don't
it.
be afraid to use a little color.
Use a little bit color.
Yes.
That's awesome. Is there something that you, if it's your own property that you're going to buy for yourself, is there something that you look at that usually people don't look at or people overlook?
When I walk into a house for myself, it's just an overall feeling, is this going to suit my lifestyle? Also, you got to look at the age of the roof nowadays.
Age of,
because
absolutely.
insurance is crazy. I actually just got a fortified roof on my house this year.
Okay.
And that does save you money in insurance.
Definitely
Go
does.
figure.
Definitely does. I renewed my policies, and the first question they asked was, how
your
old
roof
is the roof?
fortified?
Yeah, yeah. The good thing after Hurricane Ida, all the roofs most of the roofs here in Louisiana got replaced.
Right.
A lot of people replaced their roofs. I had to replace a bunch of roofs on my properties, but the first question, how old is the roof? And
Yep. And if it's more than 5 or 6 years.
yeah, your rate is going up for sure. Awesome. Where people can find you, Jess?
They can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok. That's pretty much it. But you search Jessica Gorman Realtor and I pop up right there on your face.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on the
Thank
success
you.
and congratulations on the daughter.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to the next interview.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks, Rami.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Definitely. That's it, baby.